The police are afraid of an intelligent black person because they like to have an easy job of just pulling you up on the street and saying, oh, you fit the description and so forth and so on, and like to harass, maybe trying to search you or even fit you up. But the police, when someone is able to stand up for their right and quote them the law, which they often don't know themselves, then that becomes a threat to what they are used to doing. What the police are afraid of in me is what they've always been afraid of, a black man with intelligence. I don't like to say that myself, but this is what I have heard said to me. The problem with you, Mr. Grant, the problem for you is that you're a black man with intelligence. I've had this being said to me by prison officers, by prison governors, etc., etc., because none of them have known how to deal. Every one of them have known that they had me in prison unlawfully for 6 years. They've realized, I've had prison officers come into me and saying, wow, if this case was public, I would lose my job. You know, because they've realized that the whole system would collapse. The response so far, if you like, other than, let's say, yourselves coming to us to make this film, has been behind the scenes, very quiet. Although we've been able to use this declaration in declaring that we do not pay congestion charges and parking tickets, and in fact we had one of our vehicles clamped unwittingly, I think they would admit to, and we told them in advance that we were going to remove the clamp. We gave them an opportunity to come and remove the clamp without us damaging it, but they, I think, I don't know, for whatever reason they didn't come. So we removed the clamp and we've sent a letter to them telling them that we're prepared to store it at certain costs. If they collect it within 14 days, it will be at a reduced cost, and thereafter it be occurring a higher charge. Just for clarification, the connection between our declaration and us removing the clamp. Obviously, we're saying in our declaration that there can be no action, no law enforcement action lawfully taken against us. Now, the clampers acting on behalf of a government agency would be acting unlawfully as far as we're concerned. And so we, as I said, we don't act in ignorance or even arrogance. Although we can afford to be arrogant, we don't act in arrogance or ignorance. So we contacted them in advance and gave them an opportunity to come and remove their unlawful clamp, and they decided that they would call the police and let the police deal with it. So we told them, we invited them to let the police know that we were going to remove the clamp if they didn't remove it, and we gave them, I think it was up to 2 hours to come and remove the clamp. They or the police didn't turn up, so we cut it off and then informed them. As I said, because there is no law enforcement agency in this country, whether it be the police, whether it be customs and excise, whether it be the tax office, whether it be clampers, local borough council clampers or whatever, they cannot lawfully, I emphasize, they cannot lawfully enforce any laws against us. It's as simple as that. So in general, the response has not been massive because the mass of the people don't know, but those who have, I'm sure it's having a huge impact. For 3 years in this country, I was able to drive my vehicle without tax, without insurance. I could phone Scotland Yard, I could tell them I was going to...
So you said you could or you did?
I did, and I could. I could and I did.
So you were effectively doing something under the normal understanding of the law illegal.
Yeah.
And you're informing
Scotland Yard
that you were doing this,
and the response would be, for instance, if I told them I was going to fill up my tank at such and such a petrol station, they would say to me, okay, Mr. Grant, I'm sure the local borough commander has got much more busier things to do than to come looking for you. There was a time when when I rang Scotland Yard and I told them I was going to put CTJ 1 on my vehicle so that all officers could know it. He said to me, hold on, Mr. Grant, let's check...
CTJ, forgive me, what is CTJ?
CTJ, Campaign for Truth and Justice.
Oh, I see, right, okay. Mm-hmm.
So he said to me, they said to me, let's just check to make sure no one else has got that registration before you put it on your vehicle.
Caul, I'm sorry, I'm just completely... thrown here because here you were, a citizen of the United Kingdom, speaking directly to, let's say, the highest office in terms of the police force, Scotland Yard, informing them of your intention to do something which is illegal, and they're having a conversation with you, and they're then saying, effectively, go ahead.
They said, we can't tell you to do this, we can't tell you to do that. But as I said, what they said at that time, during this particular conversation, when I said, look, I don't want you to send out the artillery against me, etc., he said, well, I'm sure the local borough commander has got much busier things to do. So effectively, for me, that was my go-ahead. But look, in addition to that, as I said, for 3 years, I drove my vehicle without tax as an act of protest.
Right.
Without tax, without insurance, etc. And if a police officer pulled me on the street, as soon as they'd done a name check, out would come a hand, okay, Mr. Grant, have a safe journey home. Because...
So, no, Caul, I'm a person that has been pulled over many times over the years. And they do...
if this case became public and was public knowledge, every single person in prison today, I'm sorry, would have rights to approach the courts for an appeal. Because to expose a lack of integrity within the system would call doubt over the integrity of all previous convictions. Well, in addition to that, I was able to assist whether people were being arrested at police station or if they were in court. I could, if you're at a police station facing an arrest charge, if you called me, I could come along and introduce myself, introduce the campaign that we're going to represent you or assist you as a Mackenzie friend, or come and act on your...
Forgive me, my naivety. What is a
Mackenzie friend? Anyone in court who's representing themselves is entitled to have a friend assist them in court.
I see. Okay.
The first person that ever did it his name was Mackenzie, and so therefore his name. So, or we would come as a witness to challenge their jurisdiction. And I can assure you, you'd either be released without charge, or if you was already charged, the case would go to court, be dismissed without any evidence being heard.
Is that because of your now newfound knowledge of the law and how to address it, or because of you, the person? What do you think?
Anytime I appeared in court, whether it be on my own behalf or on behalf of others, the judges would just get up and run out. And I'm not exaggerating in any way. I mean, get up and run out. Police officers who are normally in court would be stood there in disbelief, never experienced anything like that before. I'm not encouraging you in any shape, way or form to go out there to break the law and so forth and so on. If you are being harassed by the police and so on, what you need to do is to get in touch with Campaign for Truth and Justice, because our organisation, when I walk the streets, I don't walk in fear of police officers. Police officers are in fear of stopping me on the street. I can guarantee you that. This is no gimmick. So what I would say to you young men, as I said, I'm not encouraging you in any way whatsoever to be ignorant of the law. But if you feel harassed, if you're being terrorized by the police, as I've seen for myself that they do, then you get in touch with Campaign for Truth and Justice and we'll give you unlimited protection from harassment.